My name is Sandy Armstrong, and I'm sort of the leader of this group. We gather on Mondays, all old Concord players, some of us still performing, some of us not, but we gather to rehearse and put together plays and little skits that sort of evidence the kind of lifestyle that we're all having right now. We also have introduced music to a greater extent this year. We used to just do the staged reading, but we found that we all like the music, and there are songs that you can sing along with, so we'll have those during the program. We're going to open up today with a number by Tom Ruggles, who was just mentioned. Some of you, if you've ever had surgery at Emerson Hospital, when you wake up, you will sometimes find our own troubadour here singing to you in Emerson Hospital. He's been known to do that and be an entertainer there. He's also been on TV and a few other things. So I think you'll enjoy everything that he has to show you. Tom, without further ado.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
I am going to expose you to an instrument you've never seen before.
Oh my goodness.
This is called a fluke. What is a fluke? A fluke is shaped like a lute, but it's tuned like a ukulele.
Really?
And I'm going to do a song for you now by a guy named Tom Lehrer. Remember Tom Lehrer? Some of you do. Some of you do. It's called the hunting song. I always will remember, 'twas a year ago, November, I went out to hunt some deer on a morning bright and clear. I went and shot the maximum the game laws would allow. 2 game wardens, 7 hunters, and a cow. I was in no mood to trifle. I took down my trusty rifle. I went out to stalk my prey. What a haul I made that day. I tied them to my fender and I got them home somehow. 2 game wardens, 7 hunters, and a cow. The law was very firm. It took away my permit, the worst punishment I ever endured. Seems there was a reason. Cows were out of season and one of the hunters wasn't insured. Now, people ask me how I do it, and I say there's nothing to it. You just stand there looking cute, and when something moves, you shoot! And there's 10 stuffed heads in my trophy room right now. 2 game wardens, 7 hunters, and a purebred Guernsey cow.
A couple of skits showing you some adventures that we seniors might be having. The first one is called Seeing Eye Dogs.
2 women who had been out walking their dogs were sitting on a park bench discussing what to do with the rest of the afternoon. One woman had a Doberman, the other a Chihuahua. Now, as they sat and observed the comings and goings in the park, the one with the Doberman said to her friend,
Let's go to that bar over there and have a drink. We can't go in there. We've got our dogs with us. Just watch and do as I do.
Well, they walked over to the bar. The one with the Doberman put on a pair of dark glasses and walked in. Suddenly, she was accosted by the bouncer.
Sorry, lady. No pets allowed.
You don't understand. This is my seeing eye dog.
A Doberman?
Yes, Dobermans are used now. They're very good.
All right. Go on in.
The lady with the Chihuahua felt that convincing the bouncer that a Chihuahua was a seeing eye dog might be a little bit more difficult. But she said, what the heck? And she put on her dark glasses and started to walk in.
Sorry, lady. No dogs allowed.
But this is my seeing eye dog.
A Chihuahua?
A Chihuahua? They gave me a frickin' Chihuahua?
This next is called Two Irish Ladies.
Two women were sitting next to each other at a bar. After a while, one looks at the other and says,
I can't help but think from listening to you that you're from Ireland.
Oh, that I am, sure.
Well, so am I. And whereabouts in Ireland are you from?
Well, I'm from Riverston in Tipperary.
Oh, so am I. And what street did you live on?
Oh, 'twas a lovely little street in the East End. I lived on Colleen Street in the old central part of town.
Why, faith and begorra, so did I.
Oh.
'Tis a small world. And what school did you go to?
Well, now, I went to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, of course.
So did I.
Oh.
Now tell me, what year did you graduate?
Well, now, let's see. I graduated in 1964.
Oh, the good Lord must be smiling down upon us. I can hardly believe our good luck winding up in the same pub tonight. Can you believe it? I graduated from the Immaculate Heart of Mary in 1964 myself.
"Oh, Maeve, I'll be having myself a beer."
It's going to be a long night.
And why do you say that, Maeve?
The Murphy twins are drunk again.
These are so much fun, you almost all want to join in, right? Okay, the next one on our list is the high cost of dying. Now, that may sound a little gruesome, but listen to this, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Lawn Dust. Can I help you?
Yes, I read your ad. I'm interested in the $65 funeral.
Well, was that for yourself?
No?
Well, for another? May I ask, where did you catch that ad?
It was in TV Guide, a pop-up ad.
Oh, well, we're just trying to find out where our trade comes from. I am afraid I'm going to have to ask you some questions.
All right.
Now, can you tell me what was the loved one's name?
Seymour Maslow Freem.
Oh, is that hyphenated?
It was.
And the loved one's address?
4418 Southeast Huguenot Drive.
And may I ask what your name is?
Charlie.
Oh, Charlie. I'm Miss Loomis, your grief lady.
Hi.
Is it Charlie Maslow Freem?
Yes.
Well, you're related. Well, that'll be $65.
Yes.
Wonderful. Oh, but before you go, Mr. Maslow Freem, would you be interested in some extras for the loved one?
What kind of extras?
Well, how about a casket?
Isn't that included with the funeral?
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, we have to have a casket.
Well, it does look better.
How much?
Well, we have three prices. $768, $243, and $14.98.
May I ask what those prices represent?
Well, one is mahogany, one is oak, and the other is nubby plywood.
Nubby plywood? What kind of an impression does that make?
Cheap.
I'll take the oak.
Oak? All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, I am sorry to intrude this way on your grief, but I just wondered, can you tell me how you planned on getting Mr. Maslow Freem down here?
Taxi cab?
Oh, you're going to have to give the driver an enormous tip.
You don't happen to have a hearse, do you?
Well, yes, we do. For $35, I can give you an exquisite Cadillac slumber wagon.
All right, $35.
$35. Now, how about someone to drive it?
That's not included?
No, it isn't.
All right, well, we have to have a driver. I can't drive it myself.
All right.
Is that all?
Well, this is just the last. And I am again once truly sorry, but this is my job. Had you planned at all on burying Mr. Maslow?
Madam, that was foremost on my mind.
Ah, do you happen to have a plot?
No, but I'm sure you do.
Ah, yes, we have
Three prices.
Yes. $824.46, $493.58, and $10.
I'm just curious. What happens for $10?
Well, for $10, we have two men come and take Mr. Maslow Freem away and do God knows what with him.
Yes,
Next on our agenda is the lovely Lida Rose from Music Man with our own Tom and Katie.
home again, Rose, to get the sun back in my sky. Lyra Rose, I'm home again, Rose, of all the 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, as the least suggestion of the question. Lyra Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lyra Rose, I'm home again, Rose, and I'm hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Lyra Rose, oh, won't you be mine?
Dream of now, dream of then, dream of a love song that might have been. Do I love you? Oh yes, I love you. Don't really tell you, but only when we dream again. Sweet and low, sweet and low, sweet on the memories of long ago. Forever, oh yes, forever. Will I ever tell you? Oh no. Dream of now,
Get the sun back in my sky. Lyra Rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, as the least suggestion of the question. Lyra Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lyra Rose, I'm home again, Rose, and I'm hoping you're the same. So here's my love song, not fancy or fine. Lyra Rose, oh, won't you be mine? Please.
Of course it's yes.
Thank you, folks. Now we're going to do a long series of almost 2 and 3 liners. They're very short. Most of them are pretty funny. And so I give you permission to laugh uproariously when you feel so inclined. The first one is called Down at the Retirement Center.
80-year-old Bessie bursts into the rec room at her retirement home. She holds her clenched fist in the air and announces,
Anybody who can guess what's in my hand can have sex with me tonight.
Could it be an elephant?
Close enough.
This next one is called Old Friends.
Two elderly ladies have been friends for many decades. Over the years, they've had all kinds of activities and adventures together, but lately their activities have been limited to meeting once a week to play cards.
Now, don't get mad at me. I know we've been friends for a long, long time, but I can't think of your name. I've thought, but I can't remember it. Please tell me what your name is.
How soon do you need to know?
Next is called Lost.
An elderly Floridian called 911 on her cell phone to report that her car had been broken into. She is hysterical as she explains the situation to the dispatcher.
They've stolen the radio, the steering wheel, the brake pedal, and even the accelerator.
The dispatcher advises her to stay calm and that an officer is on the way. A few minutes later, the officer radios in.
Disregard. She got in the back seat by mistake.
Next on our agenda is one called Family.
Three sisters, aged 92, 94, and 96, live in a house together. One night, the 96-year-old draws a bath. She puts her foot in the tub and pauses.
Was I getting in or out of the tub?
I don't know. I'll come up and see. Was I going up the stairs or down?
I sure hope I don't get as forgetful as you two. Knock on wood. Oh, I'll be up to help you both as soon as I see who's at the door.
This next is called Little Lady.
A little old lady was running up and down the halls in a nursing home. As she walked, she would flip up the hem of her nightgown and say,
Super sex!
She walked up to an elderly man in a wheelchair. Flipping her gown up at him, she said,
Super sex!
He sat silently for a moment or two, and then finally answered.
I'll take the soup.
This next is called The Retired Couple.
A retired man and his wife are sitting at the patio, enjoying a glass of wine one evening. The wife sighs and says,
I do love you. In fact, I love you so much that I don't think I could live without you.
Is that you talking or the wine talking?
It's me, talking to the wine.
Next, The Pilot.
A group of people are flying on a commercial aircraft. A young woman passenger senses that something is terribly wrong because of a change in the movement of the plane. She goes up to the cockpit and notices the pilot has passed out. Hearing a voice on the radio, she picks up the microphone and frantically says,
The pilot has passed out! We need help! I've never piloted an airplane!
Don't panic. Everything will be all right. I've talked people through landing your type of aircraft many times. Just listen carefully to me and do what I say. Now, start by giving me your height and position.
I'm 5'4" and I'm sitting in the co-pilot seat.
Ooh. Repeat after me. Our Father who art in heaven.
Next, The Irishman.
An Irishman was driving home from a pub about 1:30 in the morning. His car was weaving and he was driving too fast and he had too much to drink. A policeman stopped him, reprimanded him for his reckless driving, and asked where he was going at this time of night. "Oh, sir, I'm in a hurry to get to the lecture."
Well, Artie, what would it even be lecturing on at this time of the night?
Well, it's a lecture on the awful damaging effects of alcohol on your body, your mind, and your life.
Artie, who would be giving a lecture like that in the middle of the night?
Well, that would be me wife.
Next is called the Italian tomato garden.
An old Italian man lived alone in New Jersey. He wanted to plant his annual tomato garden, but it was very difficult work as the ground was hard. His only son, Vincent, who used to help him, was in prison. The old man wrote a letter to his son and described his predicament.
Dear Vincent, I'm feeling pretty sad because it looks like I won't be able to plant my tomato garden this year. I'm just getting too old to be digging up a garden plot. Now, I know if you were here, my troubles would be over. I know that you would be happy to dig the plot for me like in the old days. Love, Papa.
A few days later, he received a letter from his son.
Dear Pop, don't dig up that garden. That's where the bodies are buried. Love, Vinny.
At 4 a.m. the next morning, FBI agents and local police arrived and dug up the entire area without finding any bodies. They apologized to the old man and left. That same day, the old man received another letter from his son.
Dear Pop, you can go ahead and plant the tomatoes now. That's the best I could do under the circumstances. Love you, Vinny.
This next is called The Priest and the Boy.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Is that you, little boy?
I've been with a loose woman.
Is that you, little Joey Piano?
Yes, Father, it is.
And who was the girl you were with?
I can't tell you, Father. I don't want to ruin her reputation.
Well, Joey, I'm sure to find out her name sooner or later, so you might as well tell me now. Was it Tina Vinetti?
I can't say.
Was it Teresa Mazzarelli?
I'll never tell.
Was it Maeve O'Donoghue?
I'm sorry. I can't name her.
Was it Kathy Piriano?
My lips are sealed.
Was it Rosa D'Angelo?
Please, Father, I can't tell you.
You're very tight-lipped, and I admire you for that, but you have sinned and have to atone. So you cannot be an altar boy now for 4 whole months. Now you go and behave yourself.
So what'd you get?
4 months of vacation and 5 good leaves.
This next one is called Grandma.
A doctor had been seeing an 80-year-old woman for most of her life, finally retired. At her next checkup, the new doctor told her to bring a list of all the medicines that had been prescribed for her. As the doctor was looking through these, her eyes grew wide as she realized Grandma had a prescription for birth control pills.
Mrs. Smith, do you realize these are birth control pills?
Oh, yes. They help me sleep at night.
Mrs. Smith, I assure you there is absolutely nothing in these pills that could possibly help you sleep.
Yes, dear, I know that. But every morning I grind one up and mix it into the glass of orange juice that my 16-year-old granddaughter drinks. And believe me, it definitely helps me sleep at night. This next one is called The Operation. And folks, hope you don't have to have surgery anytime soon, but here we're putting up a story of the operating room and some of the things that might happen there. So take a listen and beware.
Is there somebody else?
Is there something else you'd like? Suture? Sponge?
Is there somebody else?
I don't care to discuss it now, thank you.
It's Pinsky, isn't it?
I don't care to talk about it.
I saw you in the cafeteria with Pinsky.
I just don't care to talk about it, Dr. Harris. Now, would you like anything else? Otherwise, I'd like to go.
Leave in the middle of an operation?
Well, I have nothing more to hand you. You've got it all in the patient.
Edith, what have I done to hurt you?
You haven't done anything to hurt me. I just wish you wouldn't badger me this way.
Badger?
I need time to think. I told you that before.
I don't know you like this. You're cold, you're diffident.
Because you badger me.
I haven't badgered you!
You're only making me run away.
Is it badgering you to tell you I love you? Is that badgering you?
Please do not tell me over and over again in the operating room or in the cafeteria.
All right. I'm sorry. Give me the needle.
Needle.
Thread.
Did you mean suture?
Yes.
Would you like me to thread it for you too?
I don't know what I'm doing. Yes!
We hope it doesn't end like that. This next is called Medicare in a Nutshell.
Hello?
Mrs. Sanders, please.
Speaking.
Mrs. Sanders, this is Dr. Jones at St. Agnes Laboratory. When your husband's doctor sent his biopsy to the lab last week, a biopsy from another Mr. Sanders arrived as well. We are now uncertain which one belongs to your husband. Frankly, either way, the results are not too good.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, one of the specimens tested positive for Alzheimer's, and the other one tested positive for HIV. We can't tell which is which.
That's dreadful. Can you do the test again?
Normally we can, but Medicare will only pay for those expensive tests one time.
What am I supposed to do?
The folks at Medicare recommend that you drop your husband off somewhere in the middle of town. If he finds his way home, don't sleep with him.
Very subtle, right? This next is called Save My Chickens. Farmer Jack lives on what was once a quiet rural highway, but traffic has been slowly building up and is now so heavy that his free-range chickens are being run over at the rate of 3 to 6 a week. He has been phoning the local police to complain. Here he is discussing the whole story with his visiting cousin Sam.
I told the police they gotta do something about all those people driving so damn fast and killing the chickens. I said I didn't care what they do, anything to stop those crazy drivers.
What did they do?
Well, they put up a sign that said school crossing, but it didn't work. The school crossing sign seemed to make cars go even faster. So they changed it to another sign, slow, children at play.
How did that work?
Oh, it really sped those drivers up. I called the police again, and I told them if their damn signs are no good. I asked them if they could put up my own sign.
Did they let you?
Well, because they were tired of my calling all the time, they said, sure, go ahead.
You actually put up your own sign?
You bet your bippy I did. And since then, not one chicken has been killed.
Well, I didn't see the sign when I drove up this morning, so I'll go have a look at it. Nudist colony. Slow down and watch the chicks.
going to get to a song that our gentleman here was waiting for. It's an old political rallying song called Charlie on the MTA. And if you feel like joining in, go ahead.
These are the times that try men's souls. In the course of our nation's history, the people of Boston have rallied bravely whenever the rights of men have been threatened. Today, a new crisis has arisen. The Metropolitan Transit Authority, better known as the MTA, is trying to impose a burdensome new tax on the population in the form of a subway fare increase. Citizens, hear me out. This could happen to you. Well, let me tell you a story of a man called Charlie on a tragic and fateful day. He put 10 cents in his pocket, kissed his wife and family, went to ride on the MTA. But did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. Poor old Charlie, he may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Charlie had it in his dime at the Kendall Square station, and he changed for Jamaica Plain. When he got there, the conductor told him one more nickel. Charlie couldn't get off of that train. But did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. What a pity, he may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Now all night long, Charlie rides through the subway crying, what will become of me? How can I afford to see my sister in Chelsea or my cousin in Roxbury? But did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. What a pity, he may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Charlie's wife goes down to the Scully Square station every day at 2:15. And through the open window she hands Charlie a sandwich as the train comes rumbling through. But did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. What a scandal, he may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Don't you think it's a scandal, citizens of Boston, how the people have to pay and pay? Fight the fare increase, vote for George O'Brien, and get Charlie off the MTA. Or else he'll never return, no, he'll never return, and his fate will never be learned. Poor old Charlie, he may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. He's the man who never returned.
We all love that, and we hope that, anytime you feel like it, you'll chime in with us when we sing. Keeping with the political atmosphere, and heaven only knows what's going on in our country today, we're presenting a short little skit called Vote for Me.
We've got a little political debate here. Senator Waverly, as the incumbent candidate, will you briefly describe your party's platform for us?
My platform is simple. I'm all in favor of creating jobs, better housing, improved education, peace, and preserving the American way of life. Vote for me. I'll give you what you want.
Thank you, Senator. And now I'll ask your opponent, Mr. William Dumore, to outline his platform for us.
Just call me Will. Will Dumore. When I'm elected, my first item of business will be to cut taxes. As you know, the taxpayers in our state are groaning under the unfair burden of high taxes. And my second priority is to beautify the roadways and then put an end to crime.
Senator Waverly, the floor is now open for discussion.
I'd like for Mr. Dumore to explain just how he intends to beautify the highways and stop crime if he cuts taxes. Just where is the beautification and crime-fighting money supposed to come from?
Simple. To pay for highway beautification, I intend to levy a high fine on anybody caught littering, jaywalking, and making graffiti. And the money for crime fighting will come from the criminals themselves.
The criminals will pay for crime prevention? How, may I ask?
Simple again. For minor offenses such as running red lights, I will levy a straight $50 fine. And as the seriousness of the crime increases, another $50 will be added until, for instance, a bank robber might have to pay as much as $5,000.
Well, that may sound good to you, Mr. Dumore, but if a man is broke enough to rob a bank, do you think he has $5,000 to pay a fine?
Again, the answer is incredibly easy. Like any businessman who pays expenses out of his earnings, the bank robber will pay fines with the proceeds of his holdup. A vote for me is a vote to cut crime.
Do you think the people of this state will stand for that kind of nonsense?
Gentlemen, allow me to interrupt. The next question is, where do you stand on health care? Mr. Dumore, it's your turn to answer first.
A vote for me is a vote for health care.
That's it. And you, Senator?
I propose to create a commission to study a complete reform in healthcare from top to bottom. It's my belief that every man, woman, and child is entitled to the best medical care that science has to offer.
Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Dumore?
Oh, yes, indeed. I want to make sure that every hospital, clinic, and doctor's office uses the best bandages and pills. Nothing is too good for the people who vote for me.
Our next topic for discussion is education. Senator, may I have your response first on this issue?
Certainly. I propose to set up a commission to study a complete reform of the entire educational system in this state.
Mr. Dumore?
A vote for me is a vote for education.
Thank you. Our next item is housing. Mr. Dumore, what is your stand on housing?
Well, everyone should have a house, or an apartment, or a room. And as for the homeless, they should all find a place to live and get off the streets. That's part of my community beautification plan.
With due respect to my opponent, all I can say is, good grief. As for me, I propose increased aid to cities to improve existing homes and to encourage building new ones with low mortgage rates.
Our final question this evening is, what is your plan to curb the growing problem of juvenile delinquency? Senator Waverly, I'll take your response first.
I propose to set up a commission to study the problems of young people because I believe young people are the future of our fair state. I believe we need complete reform in our approach to juvenile delinquency.
And you, Mr. Dumore?
Juvenile delinquency has got to stop. Vote for me, and I'll see that every kid caught breaking the law will be punished. For example, kids caught cutting classes will be expelled from school. Kids caught driving too fast will lose their licenses for life. Kids with overdue library books will never be allowed to enter another library. And kids who...
Thank you, gentlemen, but I'm afraid we're just about out of time. May I have your summations, please?
In closing, I pledge to you, the voters of our fair state, that I'll devote my time to giving you what you deserve.
A vote for me is a vote for low taxation, education, beautification, and crime eradication.
Thank goodness, our time is up. Heaven help us.
you'll remember from the old days of television. This is a little excerpt from a thing that was called Dragnet.
Los Angeles, California. Some people rob for pleasure, some rob because it's there. You never know. My name is Friday. I'm a cop. I was working the day watch out of robbery when I got a call from the Acme School Bell Company. There's been a robbery.
There's been a robbery.
Yes, sir. What was it?
My clappers.
Your clappers?
Yeah, you know, those things you hang inside a bell and makes them clang.
The clangers?
Yeah, well, that's right. But we call them clappers in the business.
A clapper caper.
What's that?
Oh, nothing, sir. Now, can I have the facts? What kind of clappers were stolen on this caper?
They were copper clappers.
And where were they kept?
In the closet.
Uh-huh. Do you have any ideas who might have taken the copper clappers from the closet?
Yeah, well, just when I fired a man who swore to get even,
What was his name?
Claude Cooper.
You think
That's
that...
right. I think Claude Cooper caught my copper clappers kept in the closet.
You know where this Claude Cooper is from?
No. Cleveland.
That figures.
Now, what makes it worse is they were clean.
Clean copper clappers.
That's right.
Why do you think Cleveland's Claude Cooper would cop your clean copper clappers kept in your closet?
Only one reason.
What was that?
He's a kleptomaniac.
Who first discovered the copper clappers were copped?
My cleaning woman, Clara Clifford.
That figures. Now let's see if I've got the facts straight here. Cleaning woman Clara Clifford discovers your clean copper clappers kept in the closet were copped by Claude Cooper, the kleptomaniac from Cleveland. Now, was that about it?
One more thing.
What's that?
If I ever catch kleptomaniac Claude Cooper from Cleveland who caught my clean copper clappers kept in the closet, I'll clobber him.
Now, in closing, we have a wonderful song from Tom called Old Bones. It was a song that was written for George Burns in the old days, and it talks about life in general.
George went down to down the music area of New York and asked a writer down there to write the song for him and his 80th birthday. And as far as I know, he's the only guy that ever sang it. And it's called Old Bones Inside an Old Raincoat. Old bones inside of old shoes. Old friends from my hometown come by and hang around and bring me up to date on all the old news. Sometimes I has be a whiskey and fall asleep in my chair. And I dream that I'm a man much younger than I am. I bet you think by now that I wouldn't care. But I love life. I'd like to do it again. And be a man much more than I've ever been. Just to have the chance to turn back the hands and let my life begin. Oh yeah, I'd like to do it again. You know, folks, it's time for taking it easy. It's time for taking it slow. Old bones don't go so fast as they once did in the past. Now if I have to run, I simply don't go. But I love life, I'd like to do it again. And be a man much more than I'd ever been. Just to have the chance to turn back the hands and let my life begin. Oh yeah, I'd like to do it again. Oh yeah, I'd like to do it again.